Equatorial Guinea ṣetán láti ṣètò ìdìbò ààrẹ ilẹ̀ náà. Ẹ káalẹ́, ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí àkójọpọ̀ ìròyìn tàlẹ́ òní. Olúwarántí Òjẹ́wùmí lóníròyìn. Ìròyìn náà rèé lẹ́kùnrẹ́rẹ́. Gómìnà ìpínlẹ̀ Ondo arákùnrin Rótìmí Akérédolú ti ṣàpèjúwe gómìnà Adégbóyèga Oyètọ́lá ti ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀ṣun gẹ́gẹ́ bí aṣáájú tòótọ́ tó sì ṣàfihàn ìgbàgbọ́ táwọn ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀ṣun ní nínú rẹ̀ tó mú kó ó mú àyípadà rere bá àwọn ìpínlẹ̀ yìí. Gómìnà ìpínlẹ̀ Ondo sọ̀rọ̀ náà lóṣogbo tí í ṣe olú ìlú ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀ṣun níbi tí wọ́n ti ṣe títì alágbèéká tí wọ́n ṣe sí ìkóríta Ọláìyá lóṣogbo. Oní iléeṣẹ́ yìí lọ́fíìsì gómìnà Sànyà Ọ̀nàrìndínlẹ́kùnrẹ́rẹ́ ìròyìn abọ́ rẹ̀ rèé látẹnu Àbọ́sẹ̀dé Àlóńkẹ́.
Ọ̀pọ̀ èèyàn ló láríwísí nípa àkànṣe iṣẹ́ títì alágbèéká tí gómìnà Adégbóyèga Oyètọ́lá ṣe ní ìkóríta Ọláìyá lóṣogbo nígbà tíṣẹ́ náà bẹ̀rẹ̀ lóṣù kejì ọdún tó kọjá. Àmọ́ ṣá, láti fòpin sí jàǹbá ọkọ̀ tó máa ń ṣẹlẹ̀ ní ìkóríta ọ̀hún lemọ́lemọ́ ló mú kí gómìnà ṣe afárá yìí, èyí táwọn ọkọ̀ bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí rìn lóṣù kejì ọdún yìí kí gómìnà ìpínlẹ̀ Ondo arákùnrin Rótìmí Akérédolú tó wá sí fún lílò aráàlú báyìí. Gómìnà Akérédolú ní inú òun dùn pé òun wà níbi ayẹyẹ mánigbàgbé náà, pẹ̀lú àfikún pé gómìnà Oyètọ́lá fakọyọ nídìí mímá yípadà ọ̀tun bá ìgbé ayé àwọn èèyàn ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀ṣun. Nínú ọ̀rọ̀ rẹ̀, gómìnà Adégbóyèga Oyètọ́lá ṣàlàyé pé títì alágbèéká tíjọba tóun darí ṣe yìí tún ṣàfihàn bọ́rọ̀ ààbò ẹ̀mí aráàlú, ohun ìdàgbàsókè ọrọ̀ ajé ìpínlẹ̀ yìí ṣe jẹ́ òun lógún, àti pé ó tún jẹ́ ara ọ̀nà láti ṣàmúṣẹ ìlérí tó ń ṣe fáráàlú lásìkò ìpolongo ìbò. Gómìnà tẹnumọ́ pé títì alágbèéká náà yóò má dínkù bá báwọn ọkọ̀ ṣe máa ń ṣe wọ́lùkọlù lágbègbè yìí, bẹ́ẹ̀ ni yóò fòpin sí òfò ẹ̀mí tí jàǹbá ọkọ̀ máa ń fà ní kòríta ọ̀hún. Ó wòye pé iṣẹ́ ìdàgbàsókè àti ọrọ̀ ajé máa ń farakínra ní ìdí ẹ̀sì rèé tó ń fífọ̀rọ̀ ṣíṣe àwọn iṣẹ́ ìdàgbàsókè tó nítumọ̀ tí yóò mú kétò ọrọ̀ ajé ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀ṣun gbèrú sí i sókàn àyà. Nígbà tó náà ń sọ̀rọ̀, kọmíṣánná fún iṣẹ́ òde àti ìrìnnà ọkọ̀ nípínlẹ̀ yìí ẹnjìnìà Rẹ̀mí Ọmọwáyé tọ́ka sí pé títì alágbèéká ọ̀hún ti jẹ́ kíkú òjijì lójú pópó ìkóríta Ọláìyá di ohun ìgbàgbé, bẹ́ẹ̀ làwọn ọkọ̀ ń pafẹ́ lójú ọ̀nà náà láìsí ìdíwọ́. Olùdámọ̀ràn pàtàkì fún gómìnà lórí iṣẹ́ òde àti ìrìnnà ọkọ̀ ẹnjìnìà Ọlátókè Ọláníyàn sọ pé bákànṣe iṣẹ́ yìí ṣe parí ti mú kétò ọrọ̀ ajé ìpínlẹ̀ yìí sọ̀rúra. Àwọn èèyàn tó sọ̀rọ̀ ìwúrí níbi ètò náà ni ìgbákejì gómìnà tẹ́lẹ̀ rí arábìnrin Títí Láòyèpọ́nlé, abẹnugan ilé aṣòfin ìpínlẹ̀ yìí Honorable Timothy Owóẹ̀yẹ, alága ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú All Progressives Congress nípínlẹ̀ yìí ọmọọba Gbóyèga Fámúọdún, aláyémọrẹ ti ìdú Ọ̀ṣun ọba Adérẹ̀mí Adédàpọ̀, Alhaji Suleiman Ọlánìpẹ̀kun tó ṣojú Àtaọ́jà tilẹ̀ Òṣogbo, ọba Jimoh Oyètúnjí Ọlánìpẹ̀kun Láròyé kejì, gbogbo wọn kọrin rèkì gómìnà Adégbóyèga Oyètọ́lá fún bó ṣe ṣe títì alágbèéká náà sóṣogbo ti ṣòlúùlú ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀ṣun. Lára ohun tó wáyé níbi ayẹyẹ yìí ni bí gómìnà ìpínlẹ̀ Ondo arákùnrin Rótìmí Akérédolú ṣe ṣe títì yìí tóun àtàwọn ìkan àwùjọ tó wà níkàlẹ̀ sì rìn lórí rẹ̀. Àwọn ọ̀tọ̀kùlú láti tìbútòrò ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀ṣun àti Ondo, nínú èyí tá a ti rí igbákejì gómìnà ọ̀gbẹ́ni Benedict Alabi, adájọ́ àgbà nípínlẹ̀ yìí onídàájọ́ Oyèbọ́lá Adépèlé Òjó, akọ̀wé ìjọba ọmọọba Wọlé Oyèbámijí àtàwọn èèyàn míì ló wà níbi ayẹyẹ ọ̀hún. Láti ọ́fíìsì gómìnà Àbọ́sẹ̀dé Àlóńkẹ́ fún iléeṣẹ́ Osbc.
Aṣòfin ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀ṣun ti buwọ́lu àbádòfin tó fìdí ìdásílẹ̀ ilé ẹ̀kọ́ṣẹ́ ìṣègùn òyìnbó fásitì ti ìpínlẹ̀ yìí múlẹ̀, èyí ń tọdún 2022 àti èyí tó ní í ṣe pẹ̀lú ìdásílẹ̀ àjọ tó wà fétò ẹ̀kọ́ nípìnlẹ̀ yìí. Oní iléeṣẹ́ yìí ní ilé aṣòfin Olúwatósìn Ọládòkun. Lẹ́kùnrẹ́rẹ́ ìjókòó àwọn aṣòfin náà àbọ̀ròyìn ọ̀hún rèé. Àbádòfin méjì ọ̀tọ̀ọ̀tọ̀ làwọn aṣòfin buwọ́lù èyí tó ní í ṣe pẹ̀lú ìdásílẹ̀ ilé ẹ̀kọ́ṣẹ́ ìṣègùn òyìnbó fásitì ti ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀ṣun tọdún 2022 àtàbádòfin tó jẹ́ ìdásílẹ̀ àjọ tí yóò máa mójútó ọ̀rọ̀ ìdánwò nípìnlẹ̀ yìí tọdún 2022 pẹ̀lú lẹ́yìn ìgbà tí àwọn aṣòfin ti ṣe ojúṣe wọn lórí àbá méjèèjì ni wọ́n fọwọ́ sí abẹnugan ilé ọ̀rẹ́bù Timothy Owóẹ̀yẹ níbi ìjókòó ilé mọrírì gómìnà Adégbóyèga Oyètọ́lá fún bó ṣe parí ìkóríta alágbèéká Ọláìyá tó sì di ṣíṣí fún lílò ó láṣeyọrí ńláńlá lèyí jẹ́ pẹ̀lú bí títí alágbèéká tó wà ní ìkóríta Ọláìyá yìí ṣe tún bu ẹwà kún ìlú Òṣogbo tó sì mọ́lẹ̀ àṣeyọrí ọlọ́kùn-ún-jọ̀kan tí ẹgbẹ́ onílọsíwájú ti ṣe nípìnlẹ̀ Ọ̀ṣun ṣáájú ní ọ̀nàrẹ́bù Timothy Owóẹ̀yẹ ti gbóṣùbà fún ìgbìmọ̀ tẹ̀kótó iléfẹ́tò òṣùná àtọwọ́ ará ìlú fún iṣẹ́ takuntakun tí wọ́n ṣe lákòókò àgbéyẹ̀wò àbá ètò òṣùná ti ìpínlẹ̀ yìí níbi ìjókòó ọ̀hún ni alága ìgbìmọ̀ ọ̀hún ọ̀rẹ́bù Adébáyọ̀ Olódò ti gbé àbọ̀ ìwádìí ìgbìmọ̀ tí ó jálága fún náà síwájú gbogbo àwọn aṣòfin fàgbéyẹ̀wò tí wọ́n ṣe àgbékalẹ̀ ọ̀kan-ò-jọ̀kan ìmọ̀ràn kétò ìṣúná ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀ṣun tọdún tó ń bọ̀ kó lè kẹsẹ̀ járe. báńkì àpapọ̀ ilẹ̀ yìí ti pàṣẹ fáwọn báńkì tó wà lórílẹ̀‐èdè Nàìjíríà pé kí wọ́n máa ṣiṣẹ́ lọ́jọ́ àbámẹ́ta láti àkókò yìí lọ títí di oṣù kìíní ọdún tó ń bọ̀ kí wọ́n lè fààyè gba àwọn oníbàárà wọn láti kó owó náírà tí wọ́n kó kúrò nílẹ̀ sí àsùnwọ̀n ilé ìfowópamọ́ adarí ẹ̀ka alukoro báńkì àpapọ̀ ilẹ̀ yìí Òṣìta Nwazinobi òun ló sọ̀rọ̀ yìí nílùú Ìlọrin tí ṣe olúlu ìpínlẹ̀ Kwara ó ní owó náírà tí wọ́n kó kúrò nílẹ̀ àti tuntun ni wọn yóò sì máa ná títí ọdún tó ń bọ̀ ṣùgbọ́n tó jẹ́ pé lọ́jọ́ 15 oṣù kejì lọ́dún yìí lówó náírà ti tẹ́lẹ̀ kò ní jẹ́ ìtẹ́wọ́gbà mọ́ ó ní báńkì àpapọ̀ ilẹ̀ yìí ti ní káwọn ilé ìfowópamọ́ máa kó àwọn owó yìí padà sí ọ̀dọ̀ báńkì àpapọ̀ ilẹ̀ yìí kí wọ́n sì máa gbà lọ́wọ́ àwọn oníbàárà wọn láì gba èlé tàbí owó kankan lórí àwọn owó náírà tí òun kó gbà wọlé ọ̀hún. àjọ elétò ìkànìyàn lórílẹ̀‐èdè Nàìjíríà ti fọwọ́ méjèèjì gbẹ́yà pé ètò ìkànìyàn àtòjúlé di ojúlé tí yóò wáyé lórílẹ̀‐èdè yìí lọ́dún 2023 yóò kẹsẹ̀ járí tájọ náà yóò sì lè ṣètò ọ̀hún gẹ́gẹ́ bí àwọn orílẹ̀‐èdè yòókù yíká àgbáńláyé ṣe máa ń ṣàgbékalẹ̀ ètò ìkànìyàn wọn ọ̀gá àgbà àjọ elétò ìkànìyàn nípìnlẹ̀ Ọ̀ṣun sẹ́nitọ̀ Mudashiru Hussain ló sọ̀rọ̀ ìdánilójú yìí lọ́ṣogbo nígbà tó máa àwọn oníròyìn sọ̀rọ̀ níbi ìpolongo lójú pópó tí àjọ náà ṣe lórí ètò ìkànìyàn tí yóò wáyé lọ́dún tó ń bọ̀ Olúwatóbi Odùnúgà lẹ́kùnrẹ́rẹ́ ìròyìn náà àbọ̀ rẹ̀ rèé láti ẹnu Mojúbọ́lá Káyọ̀dé Òkè.
àjọ elétò ìkànìyàn pẹ̀lú àjọṣepọ̀ àjọ elétò ìtanijí ló ṣàgbékalẹ̀ ìwọ́de ìtanijí ọ̀hún ní gbáradì fẹ́tò ìkàlẹ́kànìyàn ọdún tó ń bọ̀ ìwọ́de ìtanijí náà tó wáyé lọ́ṣogbo tí ṣolú ìlú ìpínlẹ̀ yìí gbéra sọ ní ring road lọ sí lamẹ́kọ area gba òkè fíà títí dé garage bákan náà lè tó ń gbé ikọ̀ tó ṣe ìwọ́de náà dé ọjà Orísun Báre lọ sí station road oríta àgbá ẹ̀mú ọjà ọba Ahmadiyya lọ́sọ̀jà Sábó títí dé Ìgbọ̀nà kí wọ́n tó parí rẹ̀ sí Mandela Freedom Park nígbà tó ń bá àwọn oníròyìn sọ̀rọ̀ kété lẹ́yìn ìwọ́de yìí ọ̀gá àjọ elétò ìkànìyàn nípìnlẹ̀ yìí ọ̀rẹ́bù Mudashiru Hussain tọ́ka sí pé èrèdí ìwọ́de ọ̀hún ni láti jẹ́ káwọn aráàlú lágbọ́yé nípa ètò ìkànìyàn náà lọ́nà tí yóò fi kẹsẹ̀ járí.
kò sí wípé a fẹ́ kọ pépà a fẹ́ mú ìwé kan àmọ́ ọkọ̀ wọn kan nǹkan tá a bá ti gbé sínú ẹ̀rọ sínú atẹ́gùn ó ti lọ nìyẹn kò sẹ́ni kankan tó lè yí padà mọ́ ìdí nìyẹn ní gbogbo Áfíríkà Nàìjíríà nìkan ni alákọ̀ọ́kọ́ ilẹ̀ ìyẹn dúdú tí ó kọ́ máa dán irú ẹ̀ wò ní oṣù kẹrin ọdún tí ń bọ̀.
nínú ọ̀rọ̀ adarí àjọ elétò ìtanijí nípínlẹ̀ Ọ̀ṣun noah ọ̀gbẹ́ni Abíọ́dún Ìbíkúnlé ó tọ́ka sí pé àjọ òun yóò tẹ pẹlẹbẹ ètò ìlanilọ́yẹ̀ bí ètò ìpolongo lójú pópó ìpàdé olójúlé dójúlé ìlanilọ́yẹ̀ láwọn ìletò pẹ̀lú àfikún pé àjọ òun àti àjọ elétò ìkànìyàn ló tún ṣàbẹ̀wò ìtanijí sáwọn ilé ìjọsìn bíi ṣọ́ọ̀ṣì àti mọ́ṣáláṣí tó fi máwọn agbègbè míì.
àwọn ló ní ètò ìgangan ṣùgbọ́n ibi tí àjọṣepọ̀ wa ti máa ṣiṣẹ́ ni wípé abala iṣẹ́ yẹn tí àwa máa gbé òun náà ni láti lọ la aráàlú lọ́yẹ̀ láti jẹ́ kí wọ́n mọ gbogbo tó rọ̀ mọ́ ètò ìkànìyàn tó ń bọ̀ yìí.
gẹ́gẹ́ bí adarí àjọ NPC nípínlẹ̀ yìí ọ̀gbẹ́ni Ọláwálé Owóẹ̀yẹ àti adarí ẹ̀ka míì lábẹ́ àjọ náà arábìnrin Tẹniọlá Adébóyè ṣe wí gbogbo ìgbésẹ̀ tó yẹ làjọ náà ti gbé lọ́nà tí àbájáde ètò ìkàlẹ́kànìyàn tí yóò wáyé lóṣù kẹrin ọdún tó ń bọ̀ yóò fi ṣètẹ́wọ́gbà lọ́dọ̀ aráàlú. Mojíbọ́lá Káyọ̀dé Ọ̀kẹ́ fún iléeṣẹ́ OSBC.
Àjọ elétò ìdìbò lórílẹ̀‐èdè yìí ti lóhùn yóò ṣe ìpàdé pàtàkì lọ́jọ́ ìṣẹ́gun tó ń bọ̀ pẹ̀lú àwọn gómìnà, àwọn elétò ààbò àtàwọn olùdíje fún ipò ààrẹ ní ìgbáradì ìdìbò gbogbogbò ọdún 2023. ààrẹ gbọ́ pé níbi ìpàdé náà láti rí ọ̀gá àgbà fẹ́ka tó wà fétò ìròyìn àti líla àwọn ìdìbò lọ́yẹ̀ nínú àjọ elétò ìdìbò ọ̀gbẹ́ni Festus Okoye. Bákan náà ni wọ́n tún retí gómìnà ìpínlẹ̀ Kano, Benue àti Bauchi pẹ̀lú ọ̀gá àwọn ọlọ́pàá lórílẹ̀‐èdè yìí ọ̀gbẹ́ni Usman Baba tí wọn yóò wà ń kalẹ̀. Àwọn tí wọ́n tún retí ní ìrìjì fún ipò ààrẹ ní ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú Action Alliance Hamza Al-Mustapha, alága ìgbìmọ̀ tó wà fọ́rọ̀ àwọn ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú Yabagi Sanni àtàwọn oníròyìn pẹ̀lú àwọn tọ́rọ̀ ìdìbò ọdún tó ń bọ̀ kàn. Èyí jẹ́ nínú àtijáde tí àwọn tó ṣètò yìí fi síta gẹ́gẹ́ bí agbẹnusọ wọn Edwin Olófin ṣe sọ. Àwọn tí wọn yóò wà níbi ìpàdé náà yóò jíròrò fikùn lukùn lórí bí ìdìbò gbogbogbò tí yóò wáyé lọ́dún tó ń bọ̀ yóò ṣe wáyé rẹ̀. Àjọ tó ń rí sí àkọọ́lẹ̀ tó ṣe kókó lórílẹ̀‐èdè ti sọ pé mílíọ̀nù 43 àwọn ọmọ orílẹ̀‐èdè yìí ni wọ́n ń ràmúhùn nínú ìṣẹ́ àtòṣe. Gẹ́gẹ́ bí adarí àgbà àjọ náà ọ̀gbẹ́ni Semiu Adeniran ṣe sọ, àkọsílẹ̀ náà fi hàn pé ìdá 63 àwọn ọmọ orílẹ̀‐èdè yìí ni wọ́n ṣì wà nínú ìṣẹ́ nítorí àìní ìlera tó péye, ètò ẹ̀kọ́ tó mẹ́hẹ̀, ìgbé ayé tí ò jíire tó àti àìníṣẹ́ lọ́wọ́ pẹ̀lú ìbẹ̀rù bojo. Àkọsílẹ̀ náà fi hàn pé láàrin ọdún 2021 sọ́dún yìí ni wọ́n ṣe àgbéyẹ̀wò náà láwọn ẹkùn ìdìbò bíi 199 tó wà yíká ìpínlẹ̀ lórílẹ̀‐èdè yìí. Olùdarí fún àjọ tó ń rí sí àkọsílẹ̀ tó ṣe kókó sọ pé yíyan àwọn èèyàn kan níkọ̀sìn wà lára ohun tó ń ṣokùnfà bẹ́tò ọrọ̀ ajé ṣe polúkúrúmuṣo. Olùdarí náà ní ìgbà àkọ́kọ́ rí tí wọn yóò gbé irúfẹ́ ìgbésẹ̀ yìí láti mọ bí ṣe àtòṣe ṣe ń bá àwọn èèyàn orílẹ̀-èdè yìí fúnra sí. Ìjọba àpapọ̀ sí ní ìgbìntẹnumọ́gi ògùn lòún fọ̀rọ̀ àgbékalẹ̀ òṣìṣẹ́ ògbówó ṣe fáwọn olùkọ́ fásitì lórílẹ̀-èdè yìí. Mínísítà fẹ́tò ẹ̀kọ́ Malam Adamu tó ṣàlàyé yìí lẹ́yìn ìpàdé ìgbìmọ̀ aláṣẹ ìjọba àpapọ̀ tó máa ń wáyé mẹ́nubà pé ìjọba ti sanwó tó tọ́ sí àwọn olùkọ́ náà fún wọn. Mínísítà náà ní kò sí ọ̀rọ̀ nínú ohun tí adarí ẹgbẹ́ ASUU sọ pé ìjọba àpapọ̀ ń ṣe wọ́n bí òṣìṣẹ́ ìdábọ̀, pẹ̀lú àfikún pé ìjọba kò lè ṣe àwọn olùkọ́ fásitì gẹ́gẹ́ bí òṣìṣẹ́ ìdábọ̀. Àwọn ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ ASUU ní fásitì Benin ti ní bí ìjọba àpapọ̀ ṣe san ìdajì owó oṣù kẹwàá fáwọn ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ àwọn tàbùkù irú ẹni tí àwọn olùkọ́ náà jẹ́, àti pé kò yẹ kí ẹ̀ka ètò ẹ̀kọ́ kó tún dẹnu kọlẹ̀ pátápátá. Ṣùgbọ́n ohun tí ìjọba àpapọ̀ ń ṣe ni wọ́n ń pàrokò kí nǹkan ó tún dúró dáre lẹ́ka ètò ẹ̀kọ́ fásitì lórílẹ̀‐èdè yìí. Alága ìjọba ìbílẹ̀ Borípé ní ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀ṣun, ẹnjiníà Abdulfatai Adéyẹmí ti rọ àwọn òbí àti alágbàtọ́ pé kí wọ́n rí dájú pé wọ́n gba abẹ́rẹ́ àjẹsára tó ń dènà ìgbóná orílẹ̀-èdè fáwọn ọmọ wọn bẹ̀rẹ̀ láti ọmọ òòjọ́ sí ọmọ ọdún 5. Ẹnjiníà Adéyẹmí ó gbà wọ́n nímọ̀ràn yìí níbi ayẹyẹ ṣíṣíde gbígba abẹ́rẹ́ àjẹsára náà nílùú Ìrágbìjí. Olúwatóbilọ́gbà Odùnúgà wà níbi ètò pàtàkì ọ̀hún. Ààbọ̀ ìròyìn rẹ̀ rí láti ẹnu Mojíbọ́lá Káyọ̀dé Ọ̀kẹ́ lẹ́kùn sí.
Nígbà tó ń ṣíde ètò abẹ́rẹ́ àjẹsára tó ń dènà ìgbóná olóde láàrin àwọn èwe níjọba ìbílẹ̀ Borípé, alága ìjọba ìbílẹ̀ náà ẹnjiníà Abdulfatai Adéyẹmí tọ́ka sí pé àrùn tó burú ni ìgbóná olóde, pẹ̀lú àfikún pé ohun tó yẹ kí gbogbo èèyàn àwùjọ dìde sí ni ìgbóná ọ̀hún tó wọ́pọ̀ láàrin àwọn ọmọ òòjọ́ sọmọ ọdún 5. Ó tọ́ka sí pé ó ṣe pàtàkì fún gbogbo ìyálọ́mọ láti jẹ́ káwọn ògo wẹrẹ wọn gba abẹ́rẹ́ náà, pẹ̀lú àfikún pé abẹ́rẹ́ àjẹsára yìí máa ń dènà ikú ọ̀wọ̀wọ́ láàrin àwọn èwe.
Àwọn ìjọ ètò ìlera wa àwọn ni wọ́n gbé àwọn èèyàn wá láti wá fún wa ní ìdánilẹ́kọ̀ọ́ nípa pé nítorí yẹ kí àwọn ọmọ wa kó gba abẹ́rẹ́ àjẹsára kí àrùn kó wà mọ́ dà wọ́n láàmú ní ìtìpọ́tà ṣe bí lónìí.
Nínú ọ̀rọ̀ tọ̀tọ̀ àwọn orí adé tó wà níbi ètò náà, nílé ìta àti ilé arágbìjí ti ìrágbìjí ọba abdulrasheed ọlábòmí àti alágba ti àgbà ọba rufus ògúnwọlé wọ́n rọ àwọn ìyálọ́mọ láti gba abẹ́rẹ́ àjẹsára náà fáwọn ọmọ wọn.
tí a ṣe léèní ni wípé ìjọba ìbílẹ̀ borípẹ́ lábẹ́ aláṣẹ ẹnjìníà táyé adéyẹmí wọ́n ṣe ìkójáde ètò abẹ́rẹ́ àjẹsára fún àwọn ọmọ wẹ́wẹ́ láti ọmọ oṣù mẹ́sàn-án síbi ọdún 5. àwọn àrùn márààrún tó máa ń yọ ọmọ lẹ́nu jù gbogbo ẹ̀ ni wọ́n ṣe àbẹ̀wò sí tí wọ́n dẹ̀ fún àwọn ọmọ ní oògùn.
nígbà tó ń sọ̀rọ̀ nípa àwọn àmì tó máa ń ṣàfihàn ìgbóná olóde lára ọmọ òṣìṣẹ́ ètò ìlera tó wà nígbẹ̀nu abẹ́rẹ́ àjẹsára níjọba ìbílẹ̀ borípẹ́ arábìnrin adéfúnkẹ́ fádélé mẹ́nubà pé ara gbígbóná ibà ikọ́ ọ̀fìnkìn ara yíyún àti kí ẹyin ojú pọ́n wà lára ohun tí yóò máa ṣe ọmọ tí ìgbóná olóde bá kọlù pẹ̀lú àfikún pé tìrú ọmọ bẹ́ẹ̀ kò bá tètè rí ìtọ́jú ó lè yọrí sí kójú ó fọ́ tàbí ikú fúnru ọmọ bẹ́ẹ̀ ó ṣàlàyé pé onírúurú àrùn lábẹ́rẹ́ àjẹsára náà dènà yàtọ̀ sí ìgbóná olóde mojíbọ́lá káyọ̀dé ọ̀kẹ́ fún iléeṣẹ́ osbc.
ní báyìí ẹ jábọ́ sí abala ìròyìn eré ìdárayá. Israel Adesanya tó jẹ́ ìkan gbòógì nínú àwọn tó ń mẹ̀kẹ́ lágbàáyé ti já wálẹ̀ nínú ìgbéléwọ̀n àwọn tó ń mẹ̀kẹ́ nígbà tí ojúgbà rẹ̀ Alex Pereira fẹ̀yìn rẹ̀ balẹ̀ láìpẹ́ yìí. Adesanya ti já kúrò ní ipò kejì tó sì wà nínú ipò karùn-ún nínú ìgbéléwọ̀n tuntun. Ọmọ́táyọ̀ Adébóyè tẹ̀ka ìròyìn eré ìdárayá tàn mọ́lẹ̀ sáwọn tó ṣẹlẹ̀ lẹ́ka yìí ẹ̀jàgbọ̀n tó ń bọ̀. Israel Adesanya tó jẹ́ ọ̀kan lára àwọn tó ń mẹ̀kẹ́ ti já wálẹ̀ nínú ìgbéléwọ̀n àwọn tó ń mẹ̀kẹ́ lágbàáyé nítorí bí Alex Pereira ṣe fàgbà wọn nígbà táwọn méjèèjì díje wọ̀yá àjà. Pereira ló jáwé akíwọ́wọ́ fún Adesanya nígbà kẹta nínú ìdíje ọ̀hún àti pé ìgbà àkọ́kọ́ rèé tí Adesanya yóò bọ̀rẹ́lẹ̀ látọdún 2019 tí Israel Adesanya ti gbégbá orókè ló ti ń ṣe dáadáa kó tó di pé Alex Pereira wá mú ọwọ́ rẹ̀ wálẹ̀. Ivan Toney tó jẹ́ ọ̀kan lára àtàmọ́tàsí ikọ̀ Brentford làjọ tó mójútó bọ́ọ̀lù aláfẹsẹ̀gbá nílẹ̀ Gẹ̀ẹ́sì ti fẹ̀sùn títa sí àgẹ̀rẹ̀ sọ̀rọ̀ tẹ́tẹ́ oríire kan pẹ̀lú àlàyé pé láàrin oṣù kejì ọdún 2017 sóṣù kínní ọdún 2021 ló ṣe àwọn àṣemáṣe yìí. Ayò 16 ọ̀tọ̀ọ̀tọ̀ ni Toney ẹni ọdún 26 ti gbá wọlé ní sáà tá a wà yìí fún ikọ̀ Brentford ṣùgbọ́n tí kò láǹfààní láti ṣojú England nínú ìdíje ife ẹ̀yẹ àgbáyé tí yóò bẹ̀rẹ̀ lópin ọ̀sẹ̀ ní Qatar. Toney ló ní di ọjọ́ 24 oṣù yìí láti fèsì sẹ́sùn tí àjọ náà fi kàn tó ìṣeéṣe kí wọ́n fòfin dè tó bá jẹ̀bi ẹ̀sùn tí wọ́n fi kàn ọ̀hún. Novak Djokovic ti lóun yóò kópa tó jọjú nínú ìdíje Australian Open tọdún tó ń bọ̀ tó sì ní inú òun dùn fún bí wọ́n ṣe ti gbé ẹsẹ̀ kúrò lórí òfin tí wọ́n fi dè pé kó má wọ orílẹ̀-èdè Australia. Níṣe ni wọ́n rọ padà sílé níbi ìdíje náà tó wáyé lọ́dún yìí nítorí ọ̀rọ̀ gbígba abẹ́rẹ́ tó dènà àrùn COVID-19 tó ṣùyọ tí wọ́n sì fòfin dè fún ọdún 3 ṣùgbọ́n ní báyìí orílẹ̀-èdè Australia ti gbẹ́sẹ̀ kúrò lórí òfin náà. láti ilẹ̀ òkèèrè ààrẹ Teodoro Obiang ti orílẹ̀-èdè Equatorial Guinea ló tún díje fún ipò ààrẹ ilẹ̀ náà fún ìgbà kẹfà tó sì ti wà ní ipò náà fọdún 43 tó ń díje pẹ̀lú àwọn olùdíje míì. Taofeek Abdulhakeem tí ó tàn mọ́lẹ̀ sáwọn ìròyìn ilẹ̀ òkèèrè fàbọ̀jẹ́ ni pé ààrẹ méjì péré ló ti jẹ lórílẹ̀-èdè Equatorial Guinea láti ọdún 1968 tí orílẹ̀-èdè ọ̀hún ti gba òmìnira lọ́wọ́ Spain. Obiang àti ẹ̀gbọ́n rẹ̀ Francisco Mace Ngena tí wọ́n dìtẹ̀ gbàjọba lọ́wọ́ rẹ̀ lọ́dún 1979 làwọn méjèèjì tún tukọ̀ orílẹ̀-èdè náà láti ìgbà yìí wá. Ààrẹ Obiang ẹni 80 ọdún ọ̀hún díje fún sáà kẹfà lọ́fíìsì. Ìròyìn jẹ́ kó yé ni pé ọwọ́ tí orílẹ̀-èdè rẹ̀ tí ó ń rí látara owó tí orílẹ̀-èdè rẹ̀ ń rí látara epo rọ̀bì ló ń kó 3 nínú 4 àpapọ̀ owó tó ń wọlé sí àpò orílẹ̀-èdè náà. bó tilẹ̀ jẹ́ pé orílẹ̀-èdè Equatorial Guinea náwó sí ẹ̀ka àwọn amúlùdùn síbẹ̀ ọ̀pọ̀ ni ó fẹ̀sùn kàn pé ààrẹ orílẹ̀-èdè náà ó kàn ń gba àwọn èèyàn rẹ̀ ni nítorí pé wọ́n ṣì ń ràmú nínú ìṣẹ́ àtòṣe. Ikọ̀ ajàfẹ́tọ̀ọ́ ọmọnìyàn kan ní orílẹ̀-èdè náà ṣe ìwọ́de ìfẹ̀hónúhàn nígbà tí àwọn ilé-iṣẹ́ kò lómìnira láti lè ṣiṣẹ́ wọn bó ṣe yẹ kó tó di pé ẹgbẹ́ alátakò tó bá yọjú bá ni wọn yóò tún sámọ́ ilé tí wọn yóò sì fi ìyà tó dùgbìn jẹ irú àwọn ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú bẹ́ẹ̀. ká tó dáńdó lórí àkójọpọ̀ ìròyìn talẹ́ òní ẹgbọ́ kókó tá a mẹ́nubà lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí gómìnà ìpínlẹ̀ Ondo arákùnrin Rotimi Akeredolu ti ṣe sàmùsáǹkùdù sí gómìnà ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀ṣun ọ̀gbẹ́ni Adégbóyèga Oyètọ́lá tó ṣàpèjúwe rẹ̀ gẹ́gẹ́ bí aṣáájú tòótọ́ tí ó ṣàfihàn ìgbàgbọ́ táwọn èèyàn ní nínú rẹ̀ èyí tó mú kí àyípadà rere ó dé bá ìgbé ayé àwọn èèyàn ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀ṣun. Gómìnà Akeredolu gbóṣùbà náà fún ọ̀gbẹ́ni Adégbóyèga Oyètọ́lá lọ́ṣogbo tí ṣe olúùlú ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀ṣun láàkó tí wọ́n ń ṣe ìkóríta alágbèéká tí ìjọba gómìnà Oyètọ́lá ṣe sí Ọláìyá lọ́ṣogbo. Àjọ tó ń rí sí àkọsílẹ̀ tó ṣe kókó lórílẹ̀‐èdè yìí ti jẹ́ kó di mímọ̀ pé mílíọ̀nù lọ́nà mẹ́tàléláàádóje àwọn èèyàn orílẹ̀‐èdè yìí ni wọ́n sì wà nínú iṣẹ́ àtúnṣe. Àjọ náà ní eléyìí ò ṣẹ̀yìn ètò ìlera tó mẹ́ẹ̀ àìní iṣẹ́ lọ́wọ́ àti ọ̀kan òjọ̀kan àìsí ohun amáyédẹrùn eléyìí tó ń dá ìbẹ̀rù bojo sílẹ̀ lọ́kàn àwọn èèyàn pẹ̀lú ìwà ìsùnmọ̀mí tó mú kí àwọn èèyàn tó máa gbé nínú ìṣẹ́. Láti ilẹ̀ òkèèrè láti mú wá fún yín pé orílẹ̀-èdè Equatorial Guinea ti ṣetán láti ṣàgbékalẹ̀ ìdìbò ààrẹ ilẹ̀ náà lọ́jọ́ àbámẹ́ta tó ń bọ̀ nígbà tí ẹni tó ti wà ní ipò náà láti bí ọdún 43 sẹ́yìn sì tún ń díje nínú ipò ààrẹ orílẹ̀-èdè Equatorial Guinea. Kò ní jù báyìí lọ lórí àkójọpọ̀ ìròyìn talẹ́ òní. Mojíbọ́lá Káyọ̀dé Ọ̀kẹ́ lóòtú ìròyìn darapọ̀ mọ́ alágún 12 kọjá ìṣẹ́jú 15 lọ́sàn-án ọ̀la nígbà tá a sì máa mú tuntun wá fún yín lórí àwọn ìròyìn wa títí dọ̀là kásùn láyọ̀ kájíláyọ̀ ó dàrọ̀.
Afrobeats, the time is now. The hunt for the new Afrobeat superstar begins. From over 4,000 contestants, 17 contestants make it to the main stage. Who will be the chosen one? Expect mesmerizing group performances, breath-catching pair battles, captivating solo performances, and touching eviction. Contestants will face several hurdles in their pursuit to become the next superstar. You will never want to miss the quarrels, the suspicions, the alliance, and Karamadir. You'll see the humanity in different perspectives. And from the dazzling stage reactions of the judges, you'll see the rising of a superstar. All on Just Dancing. Watch every Sunday at 8 p.m. on ST Nollywood channels, ST Yoruba, and Star Times on app. Exclusive on Star Times.
Star Times. Entertain your family.
Iṣẹ́ lóògùn ìṣẹ́, ọ̀rẹ́ mi ò múra síṣẹ́, tó rọrùn ló bá fẹ́. níṣe dandan ní kó kéré ẹ̀ lọ́la ohun tó máa jẹ́ láyé dánwọ́ rẹ̀ ọmọ máa máa yan ìyànkúyàn o.
ọmọ mi má máa yan ìyànkúyàn.
ohun tó máa jẹ́ láyé dánwọ́ rẹ̀ ọmọ máa máa yan ìyànkúyàn o.
ọmọ mi má máa yan ìyànkúyàn.
ohun tó máa jẹ́ láyé dánwọ́ rẹ̀ ọmọ máa máa yan òṣì mo bẹ̀ ọ́.
ọmọ mi má máa yan ìyànkúyàn.
má yanyan búyan má yanyan búyan ọmọ mi dòdò ló bóhun tí mò ń wí.
ọmọ mi má máa yan ìyànkúyàn.
múra síṣẹ́ ọ̀rẹ́ mi iṣẹ́ la fi ń dẹni gíga bá ò bá rẹ́ni fẹ̀yìntì ṣé bíbí ọ̀lẹ láàrí bá ò bá rẹ́ni gbọ́kànlé o àtẹ̀ramọ́ṣẹ́ ẹni ìyá rẹ̀ lè lówó lọ́wọ́ kí bàbá lẹ́ṣin rẹpẹtẹ ìyá rẹ̀ lè lówó lọ́wọ́ kí bàbá lẹ́ṣin rẹpẹtẹ mo ní bó bá gbójú lé wọn mo ní lọ́jọ́ kan wà á tẹ́ ohun tó máa jẹ́ láyé dọ̀wọ́ rẹ̀ ọmọ máa máa yan ìyànkúyàn o.
ọmọ mi má máa yan ìyànkúyàn.
ohun tó máa jẹ́ láyé dọ̀wọ́ rẹ̀ ọmọ máa máa yan ìyànkúyàn o.
ọmọ mi má máa yan ìyànkúyàn.
ohun tó máa jẹ́ láyé dọ̀wọ́ rẹ̀ ọmọ máa máa yan òṣì mo bẹ̀ ọ́. Máyànyàn kúyàn ọmọ mi dòdò ló bóhun tí mò ń sọ.
ọmọ mi má máa yan ìyànkúyàn.
Dèdè bá dèdè bá dèdè bí dèdè bá dèdè bá dèdè bí. Bẹ́ẹ̀rẹ̀ 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 bá. Ìyá ń bẹ fọ́mọ tí yóò gbọ́n ẹ̀bùn ń bẹ fọ́mọ tó ń sá kiri ìyá ń bẹ fọ́mọ tí yóò gbọ́n o ẹ̀bùn ń bẹ fọ́mọ tó ń sá kiri má fòwúrọ̀ ṣeré ọ̀rẹ́ mi iṣẹ́ la fi ń dẹni gíga ohun tá a bá jìyà fún láyé ìbẹ́ lọ́wọ́ ẹni ohun tó máa jẹ́ láyé dọ̀wọ́ rẹ̀ ọmọ máa máa yan ìyànkúyàn o.
ọmọ mi má máa yan ìyànkúyàn.
ohun tó máa jẹ́ láyé dọ̀wọ́ rẹ̀ ọmọ máa máa yan ìyànkúyàn o.
ọmọ mi má máa yan ìyànkúyàn.
ìwọ lògo orílẹ̀-èdè yìí lọ́la máa máa yan ìyànkúyàn sẹ́.
ọmọ mi má máa yan ìyànkúyàn.
ìwọ ni mọ́lẹ̀ orílẹ̀-èdè yìí lọ́la mo ní kórìn kó máa tàn sẹ́.
ọmọ mi má máa yan ìyànkúyàn.
ìyá rẹ̀ lè lówó lọ́wọ́ kí bàbá lẹ́ṣin rẹpẹtẹ ìyá rẹ̀ lè lówó lọ́wọ́ kí bàbá lẹ́ṣin rẹpẹtẹ mo ní bó bá gbójú lé wọn mo ní lọ́jọ́ kan wà á tẹ́ apálára ìgúnpá nìyẹn kan má fòwúrọ̀ ṣeré ọ̀rẹ́ mi iṣẹ́ la fi ń dẹni.
Naira redesign. EFCC boss says a decision critical for eliminating corruption and stabilizing the economy.
The Nigerian police, working including the military, have resolved to upscale the deployment of security teams to all INEC assets.
Security agencies begin strategic engagements for violence-free process ahead of 2023 elections. Plus, Nollywood gets another nod for industry growth from the federal government. Hello and welcome to NTA Network News. I'm Cyril Stover in Abuja. Michael Olale joins me from Lagos. And just reminding you that you can follow this broadcast live on our website, nta.ng/live, and all our social media platforms displayed on the screen. The chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, Abdurrashid Bawa, has described the recent policy decision to redesign the nation's currency as not only significant, but a critical pathway towards eliminating corruption, as well as achieving sanity and stability in the economy. This was while addressing journalists after briefing President Muhammadu Buhari on the activities of the anti-graft agency. State House correspondent Adamu Sambu has the details.
The meeting between President Muhammadu Buhari and the EFCC chairman that lasted about 30 minutes was held behind closed doors. Abdurrashid Bawa was, however, not forthcoming when confronted by journalists as to what was either discussed or instructions received. President Buhari, he, however, said, has been very supportive.
It is not all about political will, but political action, and he has exhibited, both in what we are doing. And of course, this issue of Naira redesign that he came up with is helping us tremendously to sanitize the entire system of this hoarding and money laundering that is taking place, with cash, all around the country. We are happy with this Naira redesign in the sense that it will give central bank an opportunity of, going back to square one. By the time they collect all these monies back to their system, then they are going to control the monies that they are going to release to the system. And then, of course, once the monies are back within the financial institution, it will help to further boost, economic activities in the sense that there will be more money for people to borrow. You understand? And then we, on our own part, will have the avenue of monitoring what are we doing with all these huge resources that are out there before that are now within the financial, institution. So it is a good thing for all of us.
He said the prevailing situation where 85% of the nation's currency is out of circulation, and indeed the banking system is not only unhealthy but counterproductive, as people are engaged in some illegitimate transactions that create avenues for various crimes, including banditry, kidnapping for ransom, and the phenomenon of money politics.
We will continue to call on Nigerians that the whistleblower policy is still on and running. And for information that, of course, Nigerians will come forth with, they stand the chance of, getting up to 5% of what we will successfully recover that are illegitimately earned. So we have to work together and ensure that, look, we rid our country of this crime that is, tarnishing the image of our country. And of course, we are here when we came here and the president launched our standard operation procedure. That is what is guiding us, going forward in the EFCC. And we are very proud of the achievement that we have made thus far.
Abdurrashid Bawa also used the opportunity to put the record straight on what he called the sting operation recently carried out by operatives of the EFCC in Bureau de Change offices in parts of the country.
We got an intel that says that there is this, and then we went for it, and then we realized that yes, there are a lot of speculators out there, there are a lot of funds that are illegitimately traced to them, and then of course we have to do what we have to do. Of course recoveries were made, and recoveries will continue to be made. I don't want to mention figures in terms of the amount, but it is huge. From what we are seeing these days, the dollar is up 890, and then it is down 690. What happened? Is it that we have all of a sudden within 10 days carried out some, certain, miraculous economic activities to warrant, the crashing of the USD? And then we just realize that it's just about speculation. Majority of these, transactions on USDs that is happening, on the streets and among individuals are not for any economic reality. They're just using it as a means to store value. And we believe with this issue of Naira redesign and with the good government policies that is being pushed, dollar is going to crash to 200 Naira, God willing.
And as skillful political maneuvering continues ahead of the next general elections, the EFCC chairman advised political actors to desist from using illegitimate funds in seeking for votes. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
Vice President Yemi Osinbajo says the federal government will continue to push its business reform agenda, for which the Presidential Enabling Business Environment Council was established, so as to create an enabling environment for more investments in the country, including from Nigerians in the diaspora. State House correspondent Jide Unifade reports.
Receiving the delegation led by Chairman and Chief Executive Officer, Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, Abike Dabiri-Erewa, and the Deputy Governor of Ondo State, Lucky Orimisan Ayedatiwa, who is presently acting as the Governor of the state. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo notes that the contributions of Nigerians in the diaspora to the economy are huge, especially with the remittances sent into the country.
But I think beyond remittances, it is now obvious that there are incredible opportunities that can be taken advantage of by a lot of our folks in the diaspora. And they can see those advantages, they can recognize those advantages. So what is left is to create the environment for ensuring that it's easy for them to invest.
And the Vice President stresses the seriousness with which the administration is taking the ease of doing business initiative.
Thank you and commend your efforts, your support, supervisory support, and for governors in general in Nigeria as the Vice President, particularly for all the MDAs under your direct supervision.
Passion and interest to invest in Nigeria. Glad to see that Dr. Duwale spoke to us yesterday on the ease of doing business, and I must say the fact that it has improved tremendously under your leadership, sir. And we hope that it continues to improve.
Nigeria is Wakanda, right? It is exactly what we hoped it would be. And I imagine that if we can get the formula right, we will get not only increased investment from the diaspora, but there will probably be a lot of diaspora members who will move back home to Nigeria. I think many people are longing to come back.
The delegation presented this work of art to the Vice President as a recognition of his contribution to the Diaspora Commission. In the State House, Jude Onifade, NT News.
In the meantime, Vice President Osinbajo has offered his support for the initiative to build a seaport in Ondo State, noting that he's all for it and something that ought to get done. Vice President Osinbajo said this when he received the acting governor of Ondo State, Lucky Orimisan Ayedatiwa. He was part of a delegation from the ongoing Nigerian Diaspora Investment Summit received by the Vice President. Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu had been promoting the vision of the state government on the development of a deep sea port in Ilaje area of Ondo, advocating the adoption of public-private partnership involving the federal government in order to realize the vision, while assuring the state of the willingness of the Buhari administration regarding the project. The Vice President added the need for follow-up to get through the things needed. The acting governor in his remarks had sought the support of Professor Osinbajo in securing the approval of the Federal Executive Council regarding the Ondo Deep Seaport project. He also mentioned that Ondo was being showcased at the Nigeria Diaspora Investment Summit as an investment destination and called on investors, especially Nigerians in the diaspora, to come to Ondo State. As at October 2022, the total number of pensioners on the payroll of the Pension Transitional Arrangement Directorate, PTAD, is 226,328, with a monthly pension payment of more than 9 billion naira. This was made known by the Executive Secretary of PTAD, Chioma Nnenna Ejikeme, while featuring at the 58th edition of the executive briefing of the press at the Presidential Villa in Abuja. State House correspondent Jide Unifade reports.
Twice, I remember, it's a 3% pension increase. We carried the backlog into Muhammad Buhari's regime. But that has been paid long ago.
One of the core mandates of the Pensions Transitional Arrangement Directorate, PTAD, is into the welfare of all pensioners. From January of 2015 to December of 2021, PTAD has paid a total of 610 billion naira in monthly pensions, and this is as explained by the Executive Secretary of the Directorate, Chioma Nnenna Ejikeme.
PTAD has strategically and intentionally reformed and revolutionized pension administration using technology. Through verification, we've been able to create a centralized database, which is complete with pensioners' personal information, biometrics, and career documents. This database is the first of its kind.
The directorate, as she says, is now able to promptly attend to complaints and even made some recoveries and contributing significantly to the national economy.
We just last month completed the arrears of 100 months that we inherited for Nikon Insurance, for 1,046 of them. We have also last month completed the 96 months inherited from Delta Steel Company. Now we only have Nitel MTEL as a defunct agency that we have not completed the inherited arrears.
Speaking on what's next, she says, with the introduction of I Am Alive Confirmation Solution platform, which is still on trial phase, pensioners can now confirm their aliveness from the comfort of their homes using a smartphone or a computer. In the State House, Jide Onifade, NT News.
Nigeria and France have held strategic discussions to enhance bilateral cooperation and security, infrastructural development, and putting in place mechanisms to ease irregular migration. Minister of Foreign Affairs Geoffrey Onyema reaffirmed Nigeria's position on several issues when he received French parliamentarians at the ministry in Abuja. Garba Nata'ala reports.
3 French senators were on official tour to Nigeria with the French ambassador to Nigeria, Emmanuel Bladman, as their spokesperson aimed at promoting legislative and global diplomatic relations. Discussion with the Minister of Foreign Affairs focused on a series of issues facing the country, particularly in safeguarding the waterways of the Gulf of Guinea region to improve global trade and investment.
There's a G5, Group 5 of Sahelian countries. They're all French-speaking countries. International Joint Task Force. So I think the France and Nigeria, we have a real interest in coming together and working more closely together and in fighting terrorism.
The minister prioritized good governance as critical for positive outcomes to achieve mutually beneficial areas for both countries.
And as we know now, it's a big issue in Europe, irregular migration. There are large numbers of Nigerians also who are involved in irregular migration, and it comes with a lot of criminality, human trafficking, and so forth. So we also have to work. We're working closely with the European Union, and I think France also has an important role to play in that.
The French senators recalled the existing bilateral ties between France and Nigeria, stating efforts made by the EU countries to help developing countries cope with the current increasing cost of food prices as a result of the Russia-Ukraine crisis. All parties have expressed readiness to explore more opportunities for a better bilateral cooperation. In Abuja, Garba Muhammad Natala, NTA News.
The Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration of Ghana has retracted the travel advisory it earlier issued on the security situation in Abuja. The Ghanaian government had advised its citizens against non-essential travel to Abuja due to insecurity rumors on Nigeria's capital city. However, in a swift reaction, the country's Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration retracted, saying it is not aware of any security threat targeted at Ghanaians who continue to live in harmony with their Nigerian brothers and sisters. The ministry expresses regret at the earlier advisory. Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed has assured members of the Nollywood industry of government's continued support to grow the industry. The minister stated this at a day set aside for members of the industry to interface with delegates of the UNWTO Global Conference in Lagos. Anthony Forson reports.
Back to back, from the pioneer producer of Nollywood movies, they chronicled the history of the industry, recounting the journey so far.
All of us were whiling away our time doing nothing. Some of us also who believed in the industry and waited for it decided that there must be something. It's either we keep waiting and hoping someday when a Messiah will come to change our lives or change the industry for us, or waiting for God to just do a miracle and something will happen so that we can be employed.
And elated delegates headed by the Secretary General of the United Nations World Tourism Organization gave Nollywood a path on the back with these reassuring words.
To have a roadmap
how to use cinema, this creative industry, these creative people. Again, the same, to show African culture, to expose the African culture, and the movie and cinema is the best ambassador and instrument for it. Movie and gastronomy and cinema are the big part of culture today, and let's use it.
For Lai Mohammed, it is work in progress. Going forward, he said,
it shows the resourcefulness, the ingenuity of Nigerians, and that's why anywhere I am, I'm proud to be a Nigerian. You simply can't beat us. So we will continue as a government to try our best to help the industry. But make no mistake about it. Anywhere in the world, the creative industry is always one step ahead of government.
A Day with Nollywood is part of the programs lined up for the United Nations World Tourism Organization's maiden global conference on linking tourism, culture, and the creative industries, pathways to recovery and inclusive development. In Lagos, Anthony Forson, NTA News.
Well, delegates to the UNWTO Global Conference were treated to a gala night and command performance. Here again is Anthony Forson.
After a brainstorming session, the delegates settled for a special command performance spiced with music. Awards were given to outstanding performance in the tourism, culture, and creative industry.
Very much happy for our Arugungu International Fishing and Cultural Festival to go to this higher stage of the highest recognition from the World Tourism Organization.
It's an acknowledgement that our cultural festival is
It couldn't have been better than this, being the maiden edition.
I also want to thank all our experts who took part in our workshops and everybody who in one way or the other has contributed in making our first ever global conference on tourism, culture, and creative industry a success.
To all Nigerian families, first of all, peace, prosperity, health, wealth, all the best. And again, to thank their host, their minister, their big brother for all of us, and to all Nigerian hosts to make this wonderful evening. And you took really in Nigerian wedding, I would say. It's really amazing, and to show us the best of your country, the best of the culture of your country.
In Lagos, Anthony Forson, NTA News.
Time for a break. More reports just ahead.
His Excellency Nyesom Ezenwawike CON GSSRS Life Venture, the infrastructure governor, cordially invites the general public to the official commissioning of the Dr. Nabo Graham Douglas Campus, Nigerian Law School in Rumeme Town. The Dr. Nabo Graham Douglas Campus of the Nigerian Law School in River State is a contribution of the Wiki's administration to increase the carrying capacity of the Nigerian Law School. His Excellency Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR, President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, will commission the project on Friday, 18th November 2022 at 11 a.m. All invitees must adhere to COVID-19 protocol. You're welcome, Your Excellency, and all invited guests. Announcer Chris Finebone, Honorable Commissioner for Information and Communications.
Welcome to the Glow Festival of Joy. It's a celebration like no other, with prizes like no other. 20 new houses to be won, 24 brand new cars, 200 sewing machines, 100 generators, 1,000 rechargeable fans. It's raining giddy bump Glow Festival of Joy promo. Dial star 611 hash to enter and grab your share of prizes in this celebration of a lifetime. It can only be Glow. Glow Festival of Joy promo. Dial star 611 hash now.
The Federal Ministry of Water Resources, a World Toilet Organization, and the organized private sector in water, sanitation, and hygiene is hosting the 2022 World Toilet Summit with the theme Sanitation Innovations for Economic Development. The summit is being held to commemorate the United Nations 2022 World Toilet Day and will provide economic opportunities in the sanitation subsector and showcase sanitation innovations, technologies, and products. Date 18th to 19th November 2022. Venue, Transcorp Hilton Hotel, Abuja. Time, 9 a.m. daily. It is also expected that the summit will drive an African toilet revolution that will contribute to accelerating the national campaign for an open defecation-free Nigeria by the year 2025. Mrs. Didi Esther Walson-Jack, MNI, Permanent Secretary for the Ministry of Water Resources, announcer.
My people, my name is Emeka. Mekus Kamat. Let me get all this motor. I don't learn my lesson. Somebody come buy motor for my hand, carry big money, come give me. Now when we get bust, then my eye open. I don't know say that 419 be. Now when EFCC bab them, then they come bab me too. Now he make me they warn you. All of them when they do business like me, where they carry big money, when I go sometimes I go carry transfer, carry bring back. Yeah. They could not shine in my eye because the special control unit against money laundering, what they call SCUMO, they don't want to say if the money pass 5 million naira for individual, no collect them. If it pass 10 million naira for company, no collect them. Can I go where? Bank. If you not do them like that, 250,000 naira for every day where this offense happen. Or they go suspend your license, or they go shut them down, pata for your hand. They talk say, I know one you.
This message is from the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC.
Fellow Nigerians, at a time when our country is at such precarious crossroads, at a time when the enemies of the people are busy fanning the embers of insecurity under different names, at a time when saboteurs are working hard to slow the wheel of our economic progress. This is indeed the time to put our country's peace and progress above any other consideration. Just as we don't care about the religious, ethnic, or tribal identities of capable pilots and drivers who transport us safely to our destinations, the same should be accorded our choice for leaders who will pilot Nigeria out of the present array of problems confronting her progress. Countrymen and women, let's give a trial for the sake of our future and generations to come.
This message is sponsored by Ambassador Dr. Fatima Mohammed Guni, Grassroots Mobilizer.
A political pressure group known as Grace Mission has been inaugurated to ensure that only credible candidates are voted into elective positions nationwide. Isoko-born business mogul Daniel Omoibo, while inaugurating the commission at Ole, headquarters of Isoko South local government area of Delta State, said the move was driven by the desire to contribute his quota towards engendering genuine democratic practice in the country.
At Ole, headquarters of Isoko South local government area of Delta State, popular billionaire businessman and philanthropist Dr. Daniel Omoibo recently inaugurated the Grace Mission, whose goal is to enthrone good governance in Isoko Nation, Delta State, and Nigeria at large come 2023. Henceforth, members of the group will sink their political differences, shun unpopular and ineligible candidates fielded by their various political parties, and shop for credible candidates who they can trust with their votes. While inaugurating the Grace Mission, Dr. Omoyibo declared support for 5 candidates on the platform of the PDP and SDP.
My team, Atiku Okoa for president, Sheriff Oborori for governor. House of Rep under the platform of the SDP.
A major task before members of the Grace Mission is to sensitize voters on the need to reject all forms of political injustice.
This time around, the House of Representatives must come to the Isoko South.
Isoko is the highest onshore producer of oil. That's why we make laws that will benefit them.
Grace Mission also appointed canvassers who are mandated to get to the grassroots to mobilize support for candidates who can make governance relevant to the needs of the people, regardless of their parties. In a bid to make life comfortable for the people, Grace Mission have provided economic empowerment for over 600 persons who were issued checks of various sums to engage in business startups.
The presidential candidate of the All Progressives Congress, APC, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has promised to strengthen the nation's economic base through transformation from a consuming to a producing nation. This was at the Southeast Town Hall meeting with members of the private sector and trade unions held in Owerri, the Imo State capital. Beatrice Ayam has details.
The Southeast Town Hall meeting with the private sector and trade unions convened by the APC presidential candidate Bola Ahmed Tinubu in Owerri, Imo State, is to present his manifesto to the groups. The APC presidential candidate says if elected, his government will drive potentials in the country to productivity. He calls on the people to support his candidacy to achieve prosperity and renewed hope.
We will drive Nigeria potential to reality of delivery of progressive life back of industrialization, progress, manufacturing, industrialization, and electricity.
The Imo State Governor Hope Uzodinma expresses confidence that the emergence of Bola Ahmed Tinubu as president will entrench good governance and economic advancement.
I'm almost certain that they have captured comprehensively what the issues and problems are in Nigeria. And I have seen a president who is ready to go. We've seen what you did. The businesses for our people tried the Lagos very well. Great confidence that will replicate it.
We want guarantees and assurances that the prevailing policies which seem targeted at tackling the growth of commerce, business and industry in the Southeast are addressed.
The APC National Chairman, Senator Abdullahi Adamu, directed development strides as he did in Lagos State if elected as president. In Owerri, Beatrice Anyam, NTA News.
And as the 2023 race hots up, the Nigeria Police Force and other security agencies are prepared to identify, apprehend, and bring any political actor and their foot soldiers engaging in violence at political rallies to justice. Inspector General of Police Usman Algali Baba stated this at a meeting with representatives of the 18 political parties at the force headquarters, Abuja.
It is a meeting between the Nigeria Police Force, other security agencies, and representatives of the 18 political parties. Since the official commencement of campaigns for the 2023 general elections on the 28th September 2022, about 52 cases of politically motivated intra- and inter-party violence has been recorded across 22 states of the Federation.
We have been receiving reports of some state governors who encourage political talks and subnational security outfits under their control
Worried by this development, the IGP convenes this meeting with the aim of engaging political parties' leadership on the new trends of political violence and present a common front in addressing it in the overriding interest of national security and democracy.
The Nigeria police, working in collaboration with all other security agencies, including the military, have resolved to 1. Enhance intelligence gathering, sharing and utilization of same to stand after political violence. 2. Upscale the deployment of security teams to all INEC assets and facilities nationwide. 3. Take decisive lawful action against forbearance of hate speech, incitement to violence, mobilization of tax, and other violations, including the prompt arrest, investigation, and prosecution of offenders in line with the provisions of Section 92 and 93 of the Electoral Act as amended.
Franks is from NTA News.
And troops have recovered INEC biodata capturing machines, arms, and military uniforms from hideouts of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, and the Eastern Security Network in Amangu, Ohafia local government area of Abia State. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa reports that this was announced at the Defense Media Operations Briefing in Abuja.
It's another Defense Media Operations Briefing, and top is the rescue of 66 kidnapped victims, mostly from the northern region, and the recovery of INEC facilities from IPOB Den in Abia State.
Troop raided another indigenous people of Biafra and Eastern Security Network hideout at Amagun local government area. During the firefight, troops neutralized 2 criminals while others fled. Following the operations, 3 AK-47 rifles, 4 pump action guns, 2 locally made pistols, 2 pairs of camouflage uniform, 2 camouflage jungle hats, 1 INEC image capturing machine and 1 INEC box, and 2 motorcycles, among other items.
29 criminal syndicates sabotaging the nation's oil resources in the Niger Delta region apprehended, while 44 illegal refining sites deactivated by troops of Operation Delta Safe.
The air component conducted air interdiction operation at Abak Cheke on an identified illegal refining site where significant human activities were confirmed. Consequently, the target was engaged and destroyed.
On the movement of armored personnel carrier in the Federal Capital Territory, the Director of Defense.
Thank you, Cyril. The days when the 14 contractors and even government agencies walk away with huge debt to the federal government while still benefiting from government largesse is almost over. This confidence flows from the urgency on the part of the federal government to enlist the support of all revenue sourcing agencies for effective implementation of a new digital trump card in debt recovery, Project Lighthouse. Adenita will report that a zonal sensitization workshop to get needed buy-in has been organized by the Federal Ministry of Finance, Budget and National Planning in Lagos.
In the bid to ensure economic expansion by shoring up its revenue base, the federal government has been loud about its desire to increase its earnings from non-oil sector, while efforts to widen the tax net through voluntary asset and income declaration scheme is ongoing. The Federal Ministry of Finance, Budget and National Planning is also intentional about plugging revenue loopholes and recovering huge debt due to the federal government.
They are owing tax, some in hundreds of millions, some in thousands, some close to billions. But they are being compliant with the federal government and they are being paid.
This zonal workshop, organized by the ministry, recognizes the need to facilitate the handshake across the table among agencies in the value chain of debt recovery through effective implementation of Project Lighthouse, designed to identify defaulting MDAs and contractors for the purpose of supplying their details to aid recovery.
Lighthouse is a technology infrastructure that helps the ministry, identify, potential revenue loopholes in government, through leveraging big data technology. So what we did with GiveMiss is actually connect to our database, which allows them to, in real time, see who is owing.
So far, implementation of the system in just 10 revenue sourcing agencies has identified about 5,000 defaulters who are owing the federal government to the tune of about $2.6 billion, out of which about 56 billion naira has been recovered. This number is expected to grow with anticipated surge in information sharing among agencies who are also expected to assist government in achieving sure that every contractor and agency comes on board Project Lighthouse before they can transact business. In Lagos, Adeni Itaiwo, NTA News.
Stakeholders in the aquaculture sector in Nigeria are meeting to develop policies and programs for a sustainable fishing production in the country. Ruth Samuel reports that the meeting is also reviewing the 30-year-old Sea Fishery Act of 1992.
1992 Fisheries Act makes provision for the control, regulation, and protection of sea fisheries in the territorial waters of Nigeria. This meeting therefore seeks to review issues of illegal fishing, environmental pollution, fines, vessel monitoring, the blue economy, and other issues to increase domestic feed production in Nigeria.
The fisheries sector is very strategic to Nigeria because of the increasing demand for fish production and consumption, and is this contribution to employment and poverty reduction.
Issues to be deliberated upon will provide positive outcome that will strengthen the Sea Fisheries Act.
Experts in this sector are optimistic that this act, when reviewed, will enhance aquaculture.
If by God's grace is passed by the National Assembly after the FEC review or submission to National Assembly, it will be a very good thing for Nigeria. So the Fisheries Act is key.
We are aware that government understands the importance of the fishing subsector as one of the federal government non-oil revenue generating units, and we like to guide it jealously.
We will try as much as possible to put in our best to making sure that we reduce the deficit and increase domestic feed production.
Deliberations of this meeting, when concluded, will be pushed to the National Assembly as an executive bill for ratification and harmonization. In Lagos, Ruth Samuel, NTA News.
Do not forget to follow this news broadcast live on our website at nta.ng/live and on our other social media handles displayed on your screen for updates. Time for some messages. The news continues shortly. Please stay.
All roads will lead to the ancient rocky town of Kazaure in Jigawa State for the turbaning of a state chief of protocol to President Muhammadu Buhari, Ambassador Lawal Abdullahi as the Dhammasani Kazaure. The experienced diplomat is to be turbaned following the honor done him by the Emir of Kazaure, Alhaji Najib Hussaini Adamu, with the exalted title of Dhammasani. Ambassador Kazaure is to assume the position this Friday, 18th November 2020. In marriage to Ibrahim Tijani Ibrahim on the same day.
PDP power. The state chairman of the PDP, Ambassador Desmond Akawo, in conjunction with the Director General of the River State Campaign Council, Brother Felix Obua, welcomed governors of the Integrity Group, otherwise known as the G5, to the official unveiling ceremony of Sir Sim Fubara, the standard bearer of the People's Democratic Party, River State. Date, Saturday, 19th November 2022. Time, 10 a.m. Venue, Adokia Amyesimaka Sports Stadium, Port Harcourt. Special guest of honor is His Excellency,
Inyesom Ezenwa-Wike, CON, GSSRS, POS Africa, and leader of the People's Democratic Party in River State. Other special guests expected to grace the occasion are Governor Samuel Otom of Benue State, Governor Okeze Ikpeazu of Abia State, Governor Seyi Makinde of Oyo State, and Governor Ifeanyi Ugwanyi of Enugu State. As part of the high points of the event, Governor Nyesom-Wike will on Friday, 18th of November 2022, treat the G5 governors and other visiting leaders of our party to a state banquet at the Banquet Hall, Government House, Port Harcourt. Come and be part of the consolidation of the New Rivers vision, driven by our own SIM. No SIM, no network. Signed, Honorable Obonna Wuke, Chairman, Publicity and Communications Committee.
It depends you. It depends us. It depends everybody. Yes. But war, bloodshed, scatter, come out, it no go solve. This one they talk, and make them go if they want go. This one they talk, we go come out, we go. This one say, make we scatter, make we burn, make we do everything. When you scatter finish, where you go? Okay, you go take private jet, carry your family, go. But make I ask you, what about your uncle, mama, auntie, brother, sister? What about them? Remember, who throws stone for market? You don't know whether the stone go touch your own person. If the two will go come out from your mouth, you no go fit gather us together as one people. Shut up with please. War no get friend. You don't know language, you don't know anything. So if our get too much, make we sit down at the table of dialogue. Nigeria na my own, Nigeria na your own, Nigeria na our own. Make we come together, keep them together.
State Committee on Flood Disaster Assessment, Fundraising, Palliative Distribution and Establishment of Said Flood Trust Fund cordially invited the public to the launching of its appeal fund. The event is scheduled to take place on Saturday, 19 November 2022. Venue, Ahmed Bello Hall, State Secretariat Complex, Duse, Jigawa State. Time, 10 a.m. Chairman of the occasion, Alhaji Bashir Muhammad Al-Hatu, Wazir in Duse. Royal Father of the Day, His Highness the Emir of Hadija Alhaji Adamu Abubakar Maji. Chief Launcher, Alhaji Isa Agirawa. Chief Host, His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Jigawa State, Alhaji Muhammad Badr Abubakar. Chairman of the committee, Alhaji Bashir Muhammad Al-Hatu. Announcer.
Experience the future of emerging technologies at the 2022 Zenith Bank Tech Fair, taking place at Eco Hotel and Suites, Victoria Island, Lagos, on the 22nd and 23rd of November 2022, from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. daily. Theme, Future Forward 2.0. Participation is free, courtesy of Zenith Bank PLC. You, however, need to register your attendance at www.zenithbank.com/tech fair. Zenith Bank, in your best interest.
Stubborn dark marks? Try new Nivea Lumina 630. Visibly reduces up to 10 years of stubborn dark marks in just 4 weeks. New Nivea Lumina 630. Get even and luminous skin.
Does your toothpaste give you complete fresh protection? New Close-Up Toothpaste Complete Fresh Protection takes care of your 5 important oral care needs. It gives you strong teeth, prevents tooth holes, cleans deeply, fights bacteria, and gives you fresh breath. Complete fresh protection from Close-Up.
Back in Abuja, the federal government, through the National Bureau of Statistics and other development partners, has launched the 2022 Multidimensional Poverty Index Survey to assess poverty levels in the country with the aim of alleviating it. President Buhari, who was represented by his Chief of Staff, Professor Ibrahim Gambari, says it is in line with the plan of government to lift 100 million Nigerians out of poverty in order to meet the Sustainable Development Goals. Muplang Dako reports.
Latest statistics reveal that 63% of Nigerians are multidimensionally poor. 65% of the poor live in the north, while 35% live in the south. Multidimensional poverty is higher in rural areas, where 72% of people are poor. 2/3 of children are multidimensional.
It's a powerful tool to galvanize the kind of action that will push us forward to achieving the presidential mandate of lifting 100 million out of poverty within the next decade.
We're one of the first countries in Africa to conduct this exercise as a standalone survey with this level of disaggregation.
Speakers harped on the need to utilize the rich data from the new poverty index to tackle gender inequality, sanitation, health, and education in rural areas and at the state levels in order to address extreme poverty.
We all need to the design and implementation of policies and programs that will positively impact on the lives of Nigeria.
The survey, which sampled more than 56,000 households across the 36 states of the Federation and the FCT, was conducted between November 2021 and February 2022 in Abuja, Muplang, Dakok. NTA News.
And Nigeria will need to rationalize expenditure and accelerate growth in revenues to mitigate the impact of rising cost of debt service. Director General Debt Management Office, Patience Oniha, made this known at a session with the Senate Committee on Local and Foreign Debts and the House Committee on Aid, Loans and Debt Management. Leah Katumba Batunde reports.
Nigeria's debt has grown consistently over the past decade and even faster in recent years. Debt sustainability is being threatened due to the fact that the bulk of Nigeria's revenue comes from oil, coupled with dependence on borrowing.
It's an aberration that while external borrowing has been on increase since 2015, the living conditions, key macroeconomic fundamentals in the country have deteriorated. Yet, borrowing properly channeled is supposed to enhance infrastructure, stimulate job creation, and boost the overall growth of the economy.
I'm sure our members are always increasing their knowledge after each workshop, and thereby making our job easier as committee members scheduled with the responsibility of supervising the debt management office.
Total debt stock as of June 2022 stood at 42.8 trillion naira, and the debt management office DMO
recommendations at plenary, because once the National Assembly approves it, really, it's a done deal.
The understanding between the DMO and members of the legislature is that priority should be less on borrowing and more on revenues, as both local and international lenders are tightening and raising interest rates. In Abuja, Leah Katumba today, NTA News.
Time to bring in Benny with business news. Benny?
Thank you and welcome to Business. Start by telling you that amid advocacy for more funding in the nation's tertiary institutions, a group of renowned academics are of the view that tertiary education can no longer be free, as they advocate increase in education tax for companies from 2% to 3%. This was at a moment of reflection on governance, scholarship, and entrepreneurship in Abuja.
Instead of enhancing the TED fund value that comes in from 2% to 3%.
Areas like farming, for example, and then look at consultancy, how you are going to increase funding from consultants.
And the presence of the 3 hydroelectricity dams, they are big market for. So in the area of technology, if we think out of box and come up with programs that people can come and do, it will go a long way in boosting the internal generated revenue.
Taking a look at the markets, Nigeria equities failed to sustain previous days' gain as investors lost more than 20 billion naira. At the end of today's trading session, a total of 97.6 million shares in 2,980 deals, corresponding to a market value of 847.8 million, were traded. Compared with previous trading day, today's data show 39% decline in volume, 70% in turnover, and 2% decline in deals. The current market capitalization is 24 trillion naira. Transcorp Nigeria recorded the highest volume traded, followed by Access Holdings, Sterling Bank, and Guarantee Trust Holding. That is business news. Network news continues.
Brookville.
Break. Stay with us.
Hotel and Suites, we are poised to ensuring your happiness and comfort. At Brookville Hotel and Suites, we are hospitable and value our customers. Our cuisines are healthy and tasty. We have a secured environment and we give your event a top-notch touch. Brookville Hotel and Suites has an array of rooms and conference halls that gives you the desired variety. Access our swimming pool and gym where professionalism is at its peak. Visit us today at plot 553 Cadastral Zone, Gadua District, opposite Lukugoma Junction, Abuja, FCT.
If you want to become something, become a child again. Why be a patient? If you must worry, then worry about winning. Why worry about germs? When you come home, bring tales and stories. Why bring in germs?
Shield your families from germs. When Dettol is a part of every household bucket, then you and your family can stay protected from up to 100 illness-causing germs.
Everyday use of Dettol keeps my loved ones protected.
In a third final in 20 years.
Simply out of this world. Get a GoTV decoder, GoTenna, and 1 month max subscription for only 6,900 naira. Watch all the 64 games live from Qatar on GoTV Super.
This world is not my home, I'm just a passing through.
With total submission to the will of the Almighty God, we announce the burial arrangements of late Mrs. Karen Schmidel, our sister, friend, mother, and wife of Pastor Misoma C. Dixon, co-managing director of Mesoto Group Limited, who was called to glory on the 3rd of November 2022 in Hamburg, Germany. Burial arrangements are as follows. Wake-up and service of songs. Date, Wednesday, 23rd November 2022. Venue, Innocent Chukuma Crescent, off 64 Road, Gwarimpa Estate, Abuja, Nigeria. Time, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. prompt. Interment, Thursday, 24th November 2022. Venue, Hamburg City, Germany. Please accept this announcement as a final invitation in case we are unable to reach you with a hard copy. Thank you for being there for us, always. Honorable Jerry Joseph Tamara, Karan Kautungo, Sarakin Yaki Shangom, Co-Managing Director, Mesoto Group Limited, announcer.
A beat on sports now with Austin Edemodu.
The federal government has mandated sports federations in Nigeria to institute marketing platforms that can sustain them financially through their grassroots and elite athletes development programs. Minister of Youth and Sports Development Sunday Dare disclosed this while sensitizing them on the newly adopted National Sports Industry Policy with emphasis on public-private partnership, which can end the era of full funding of federations by the ministry.
Every sport is now business. And then you're accountable through your board. You go out there, make a pitch for your sport, tell your sponsors this is what it's trying to benefit. There's the government policy driving it.
Elsewhere, the main and local organizing committee of the first ever Abuja International Marathon have assured on delivering a world-class road race. They gave Olushade Adeshola.
All hands must get up to ensure that we make a big success of this event.
Meanwhile, over 100 referees and assistant referees from the north central parts of the country have undergone the quarterly FIFA fitness test for referees on Thursday in Abuja in preparation for the new season of the Nigerian League.
It is a compulsory thing that the latest amendment to the laws of the game must, since we are just starting our season, and this is the only time we can start applying those things.
I'm Austin.
The death has occurred of Shetima Mustafa, a former Minister of Agriculture, Defense and Interior. He died in the early hours of Thursday at his Abuja residence at the age of 82 years.
Know that today is a very, very sad day for us. As we are saddened by his death following protracted illness, we are also hopeful because of the character he represented, the type of life he lived, the lives he has touched positively. We are hoping that as we are now sad, he is the happiest human being going to meet his Lord.
Dr. Shetima Mustafa was a very fine, accommodating, listening man. He was a community person. He could sacrifice his comfort to accommodate community interest. We will miss him a lot.
Shetima Mustafa's body has been conveyed to his hometown, Maiduguri, the Borno state capital, for burial. He left behind his wife and 12 children. Meantime, President Muhammadu Buhari condoles with the family, friends, as well as the government and people of Borno state on the demise of Dr. Shetima Mustafa. The president celebrates late Shetima's outstanding attributes both in politics, governance, and academia, noting that his records will remain indelible in national development. The late Shetima, the president observes, inspired many generations of Nigerians with his indomitable and insightful posture to develop strong belief in Nigeria's strength and capabilities, particularly in agriculture. Dr. Mustafa served as Minister of Agriculture and Natural Resources, and in 2007 was appointed Minister of Defense in the cabinet of President Umaru Yar'Adua. Later, he became Minister of Interior. And that concludes Network News tonight. Just a quick reminder that the war against rape is still on. Stand with the NTA and be a star. I'm Cyril Stover. Good night.
Iṣẹ́ lóògùn iṣẹ́, ọ̀rẹ́ mi ò múra síṣẹ́, torọ́hun mo bá fòun níṣẹ́, dandan ni kò kéré ẹ̀ lọ́la. Ohun tó máa jẹ láyé dánwọ́ rẹ̀, ọmọ má máa yan ìyànkúyàn o. Ọmọ mi, má máa yan ìyànkúyàn. Ohun tó máa jẹ láyé dánwọ́ rẹ̀, ọmọ má máa yan ìyànkúyàn o. Jẹ́ láyé dánwọ́ rẹ̀, ọmọ máma yan òṣì mo bẹ̀ ọ́. Ọmọ mi, máma yan ìyànkúyàn. Má yanyan kúyàn, má yanyan kúyàn, ọmọ mi jòjò ló gbóhun tí mò ń wí. Ọmọ mi, máma yan ìyànkúyàn. Múra síṣẹ́ ọ̀rẹ́ mi, iṣẹ́ la fi ń dẹni gíga, bá ò bá rẹ̀ ní fẹ̀yìntì.